In this exercise, we'll look at how we can add a background image to a building and a space slab, a floor, and add spaces to it. So what we're going to do is actually create a new project. We'll call it Project 301. And Kimon's space exercise. That's the name of the project. Name it how you like. And instead of creating a new scheme now, underneath project number A that is shared with everybody in the studio, you see a list of templates. We're going to actually use some of these templates that have some settings ready to go. So the way you can actually, and this goes for any kind of project scheme, you can actually, if you can view it, you can edit it and create a duplicate. Even if it's a view only scheme, you can go in and edit it and create an editable version of it. So I'm going to go in here on the list. We have a scheme number 1 called Medical Dental Clinic Floor Slabs Only. And there's little buttons here that give you information and other statistics. But right here there's a icon that is a double document icon, essentially is a duplicate icon. There's also a delete and the date and who the scheme owner is and the scheme unique number and other settings to the right. But we're going to go to the duplicate, and it gives you the name of the scheme 01, and I'm going to call it Kimon's Medical Dental Clinic Floor Slabs Only, and it's going to say what project would you like to duplicate it in. I'm going to pull it to my new project I created, Kimon's Space Exercise. So with this, I'm actually duplicating it, and there's a selection at the bottom of selecting or deselecting if there's buildings already in the scheme. There's one building here. We're going to go ahead and you could uncheck, but I'm going to keep it checked. And if there was many buildings, you can actually say out of these 5 buildings, I only want these 2, for example. It gives me the site area. It's set to metric. We can adjust it later on if needed, but now we go ahead and hit proceed. And now it has duplicated this into my new project 301 as a exercise 1, Medical Dental Clinic Floor Slabs Only. We see the outline of a building here. I can zoom in, zoom out, fill to screen. The interface we saw earlier, it's already set to edit mode. We look on the tree on the left, we see that it has multiple floors. There are no spaces in this building. And that's pretty much the exercise here. How do we go into this building? So let's go inside the building now. So we've done everything before of editing a building, but now we're going to double click on the building. You can either navigate on the screen to the left to a specific floor, or if you pop up the building info and double click on the building, and this pops up, and the selected buildings on the right, the hyperlink is the name of the building. You can either click here or click here and jump to a specific floor. I'm going to click right here and go inside the building. So now it's going away from the site plan and loading the building. The way that Onuma works is it loads the floor or the space or the building or the campus as needed, which means it's loading it from the server, which makes it faster to kind of navigate through many buildings and many sites, but you do have to wait for it to do this initial load. So what we've seen is this has been set up with a slab. This is the shape of the slab. It's locked. So if I want to unlock it and change the shape, that's another exercise. There are actually 2 slabs. You can have multiple slabs on the floor, which for different parts of a building, for example, or different heights of the slab. There's many different settings here, but this one slab outlines the shape of this building. And on the right side, let's collapse some of these other menus here, but there's a button here called Background Settings. If we open up that red triangle tab, you see that it has a background called First Floor. If I turn that off, you'll see that the background image goes away. So what we're actually seeing here is a background JPEG or PNG file that was brought in maybe from a CAD or a PDF or even a hand sketch. This is to be able to combine sketches or existing documents with the planning exercise that you might want to do. Let's say we're going to renovate this building or add a new wing, so we want to see what the existing background is. If we don't have a BIM file, it's okay. You can actually bring in that background. So let's actually start from scratch here and just delete this first floor background and show you how you can import your own background into this file. In the meeting prep Google Drive, we have some images that have been prepared. There's the clinic first floor, and let's download that from Google Drive. Download it. So there we go, it's downloaded, and we'll have it on our desktop. There's the image. It's the PNG file. It could be a JPEG file. There's many different options for working on this. And now we're going to go back. So this is on my desktop or in my downloads folder, depending on where you have it land on your system, and go back to this background setting UI here. It's set to none. It has an upload button, so we're going to choose the file, the PNG file that we just downloaded, and it's in my downloads folder. So now let's go find the image that was downloaded into my downloads folder. There it is. Choose that. The name shows up here. You can give it a name, first floor plan, and hit upload. So what it's doing now is it's grabbing it from my local drive, uploading it to the server, and going to place it in the middle of the image that we have on screen. So there we go. There's the background image. You'll notice that it's not scaled correctly, but that's going to be our next exercise. So we have the slab that already existed. We have the image in the background. The slab has already been scaled to the correct size, so we see dimensions around the edges. Obviously this image is not matching those dimensions right now, but this is the background. The actual dimension is this, the image is in the background, and the way that we're going to adjust it now, if you go to keyboard shortcuts, you'll see some shortcuts for adjusting the background. So for example, down here it says toggle background, and what this does is it makes it editable. Right now it's locked, I can't do anything with it, but if I hit B, it goes dim and you see these red corners here. You can grab the entire image and stretch it around, or you can grab the red corners and stretch them around. The best way to actually align this is align it to a known corner here. And you can either stretch the red corners, but the better way actually is, let's put it back to the corner there, and let's go back to background, lock the background, and look at the keyboard shortcuts again. There's a reshape scale background is K, scaling the background. So you move one point, I'll walk you through it, but basically you do the command K, first B to unlock it. Now we're in background mode again, and the next step is hitting the K button. Now the K button, the first click is going to be to a known corner. So I'm going to click on this corner here, and you'll see a little crosshair coming up there. Then in the second click is going to be a line, and you can then take that line and stretch it. You can either just do it, eyeball it, like I just did, or let's try that again. Okay. Keep stretching it. Let's put it back to the original position and try again. Okay. Select that corner. Select another known corner. It doesn't have to be straight up. It could actually be diagonal, so I could select this corner here and then just stretch out to position. And that's pretty much it. You can get as precise as you want, but this is good enough for now. This gets us to match the slab. If we didn't have a slab, for example, but we did know one single dimension on a JPEG, if we knew that this was 120 feet here, for example, we could drop a line of 120 feet and stretch it out to 120 feet. That's another way of doing it. So that is how you bring a background into the Onuma system, and now this is ready to place some spaces.